there's a big question about why you guys are still here. I think that, golly, it's gonna take, we get some big pillows and something like that. I don't know how you do it. I swear I don't. It's an amazing thing. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, my name is Myron Kramer, and I'm an alcoholic. And what a treat. One of the great things, we talked about this thing the other night, about this idea of how sometimes we get to do this and we don't get to meet anybody. I've done conferences where I'll walk in, talk in front of 5,000 people, and turn around and go home, and I never meet anybody. I meet the person that picked me up at the airport, I meet the person that took me back to the airport, and that's it. I didn't meet anybody else. And so that's the reason why these things become so special, and that's the reason why slowly but surely I'm distancing myself from those things and trying to embrace more and more of these things, because it gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit and to kind of work some things out. Let me give you the State of the Union here. This is kind of like, most of you guys are so healthy that it surprises me. I mean, you guys are saying the right things, doing the right things, you're already in the trenches doing what you're supposed to do. It's just an amazing thing to see so many people who are already plugged in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, sometimes when you do these things, when we do them, we'll leave and everybody's like this. It's like, they don't like us, and we don't know what to do. We just came to carry a message, and it just, here it's just a completely different deal. I'm just as grateful as I can to be here and to know so many of you and to know that you're still here. So many of you guys from 5 years ago or 6 years ago when I was here that are still doing the deal, and some of you guys we met in Copenhagen and some in Sweden when we were there last year, Stockholm, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Get that old guy stuff, it all just kind of blurs into the same kind of a deal. I think we're going to do some fast story stuff. We'll take a little less than an hour and maybe connect up some of this stuff. I think if you see where some of this comes from, you'll understand why there is some energy behind trying to do what it is that we do. We talked about it a little bit last night, but I sobered up in January 15, 88, which is 2 months after Chris sobered up. So the evil twin, he sobers up. This is kind of how it went. He sobers up, and then I make his life hell for 2 months. I wasn't kind. I wasn't nice. I kind of hacked off that he sobered up, because he was my best drinking buddy. We solved all the world's problems over beer every day, and it was just like, and all of a sudden he wasn't there anymore. And so it was kind of unfortunate. But the trick was that I was already almost done. All I needed to do was a couple of more little debacles, and I was going to be ready to finish with this thing. Somewhere along the line, Chris had introduced me to the joys of outside issues, which sort of sped things up, if you catch my drift. And I'm trying to be as tactful here as I can without stepping on anybody. But it's an amazing thing how you can take somebody who's already brutally alcoholic and introduce some things that just kind of sped everything up. And it's just like, before I know it, I'm twisted around the axle. I'm burning through money like it's not even there. I can't tell you how much money I was spending. And my credit cards are all maxed out, and I'm trying to hide all this from my wife, who is wicked smart, and you don't hide anything from her. She knows, she knew what was going on. And so I had a liquor store clerk call me at home one night. This is where I had given him a bad credit card, and he called and said, "Can you come down and make this good?" Well, I have a pocket full of credit cards, and so I was just the problem is that I was embarrassed that he called my house, and so I was going to go down there and tear him up, and which is just kind of crazy. And anyway, I got down there, and he had already called the cops. He could tell that I was drunk. He could tell that I was violent over the phone because I wasn't very nice. And they were just waiting for me. And it was just kind of this weird standoff. I'm on the board of directors of the Chamber of Commerce of this little town. I mean, I'm supposed to be an upstanding citizen, and here I am laying over the hood of this car. Now, they didn't press charges because of who I was. They didn't press charges because they knew my position in the town. But I deserved to be in jail for my attitude and for my actions. I should have been thrown in jail. And as it was, all it did was embarrass me really bad. And it would be a week or two later that Chris would take me to my first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. And guys, I have to tell you, between me and you, it was. I fell in love with AA. Now, this is my first experience with recovery. I fell in love with it the moment I walked in. That smoke-filled room that he described, and all those crazy nutheads in there, and it was like magic. And I could relate, and it was just pretty special. The problem was, we had this crazy bunch of guys down there. There's a huge group, enormous group, and there wasn't any talk about sponsorship. We talked about that. There wasn't any talk about the steps to speak of. We talked in vague terms. Have you worked the steps? Oh, yeah. Oh, well, good. And then we talk about our day. I mean, in the meeting, we never really talked about anything solution-wise. And so it was pretty crazy. We had some people that moved in from out of town who came in, and they had made an observation that we were talking about God too much in our meeting. I can't remember talking about God at all, to be honest with you, but they were saying that we were, and so we had this big group conscience meeting, and we voted God out of the meeting. I would like to say, Aaron, and you know what those bastards did? They voted God. When the vote came, I looked around the room, and all the old guys were raising their hand, and I just went, me too, like this. And let me tell you, guys, if you ever want to see an amazingly sick meeting get horrible, when the Icelandic guys used to coin this phrase called dark tunnel meetings, when they said it the first time, I went, holy cow, I get it. That's exactly what our meetings were like. They were just wheels off, crazy meetings. We had 32 meetings a week. All of them were open discussion meetings. No book studies. It was sharing heaven. You could just go and share whatever you wanted to, and you can imagine the confusion. Okay, this is why I speak so adamantly against that concept and against that idea of this nonstop. I'm with Chris 100% on this. It's not that I don't think that it has a place in AA. I just don't understand why there's got to be so many of them. In the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we've got 142 groups in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, separate groups. We have somewhere around 1,600 meetings a week, and 95% of them are all open discussion meetings. It's discussion hell. It's just crazy. And so people will come in and spend years in AA and they'll never understand anything about our program. All they'll get is just the discussion stuff. You understand how weird that can get. It really. So I need you to understand what it was like to be in my family about this time. So I sober up, and now I'm not throwing things, and I'm not goofy. I'm getting better. I'm not drinking. Okay, and I gotta say, sometimes, guys, that's enough. Sometimes just not drinking is enough to make you stay. And it was, for a while, it just got better. If we looked at it on a graph, what it looks like is this. I'd be right over here, sick, and then I got better and better and better, and then it just leveled off, and then it began to just kind of drop off. A little bit at a time, and a little bit at a time. 3 years into the deal, I dropped off a little more. 4 years into the deal. By 4 years into this thing called recovery, which I'm not participating in, other than going to meetings, okay? 4 years into the deal, I'm writing hot checks all over Denton County. I can't make enough money to keep the bank account full. I got credit cards that are maxed out. Every woman in AA is more exciting than my wife, which is not a good thing, guys. Really, I'm simply coming apart. I'm angry. My kids have started to do this. When I walk in at the end of the night after a meeting, they stand there real still. It's really creepy. They'd stand there real still, and they would just kind of wait until they could see who came home. You guys ever have families like that or deals like that? I mean, is gregarious, really fun-loving dad coming home, or is the Marquis de Sade coming home? Am I going to swing at somebody, or am I going to? And so my kids are just like really jumpy. They don't know what to do. Most of the time, guys, we're talking 4 years into this deal. I'd walk in the front door, and you'd hear click, and it was the back door. And all my kids were heading out to the backyard. So they wanted to wait and see what happened, you see? And it's just like, God, there's just got to be more. There's just got to be more than what this stuff is. And so here was the plan. I'm talking to Chris. Now, Chris by now has moved to the hill country down in Central Texas. He's got something called a big book sponsor. I don't have a clue what that is and really don't give a rat's butt. I don't care what it is. What I care about, though, is that every time I talk to Chris, he's happy. Every time I talk to Chris, I'm fearful and anxious. And when I talk to him, he's happy. And I'm thinking, maybe this big book thing is there's something to it. I'm now going to 6 meetings a week at this club. I have an allegiance to that club that is so tight. I mean, I love those men and women, and they love me. Seriously, guys. I am so connected to them that if we're sinking, we're all going to sink together. That was my motto. We were just going to do this. So it gets worse and worse, and I'm starting to think that maybe the drink is the only. Let me ask you a question. How many of you guys ever? The whole time that I drank and did that stuff, I never thought about killing myself. It never even occurred to me, even as bad as it got, it never occurred to me that to kill myself. 4 or 5 years into this deal, it's the only thing I can think of. It dogs me day and night. I'm thinking about it all the time. In Texas, we all have 100 guns, okay? And I'm always looking at them going, got to have me one of them guns real close. I mean, it's just a matter of time, guys. You understand what I'm saying? How weird that is? To not be drinking, to be a distance away from the things that are killing me, and emotionally, I'm just not doing well. And I can't figure it out. I try to share it in meetings. I try to tell them how sick I'm getting, and they keep interrupting me and telling me what the solution is. So I make this big swan song thing one night. I'm gonna tell them that I'm gonna quit AA, and this is my last meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. We're now almost 6.5 years into my deal at that group. And so I go in there, and I'm right at the end of the meeting, and I share, and I get ready to do with this guy named Jim. He goes, Myers, hey, buddy, just interrupted me. And now I'm thinking, I'm going to kill this guy. And he's interrupting my big moment, you see? And he goes, listen, I know you're struggling. We've talked about it before. Let me just make a suggestion. Maybe you just need to double up on some meetings. And I went, thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. And I remember I walked out the door, and I walked outside and I closed the door. I've got this old 77 Toyota Land Cruiser, and I shut the door, and I put my head down on the steering wheel, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried. Guys, I'm telling you, I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to die drunk. I knew that. But if that was sobriety, if what I had come to was sobriety, I didn't want any part of it, guys. I'm just telling you. This is why later on I would meet thousands and thousands of people who felt just like me. I thought I was the only one that was too stupid to get this deal. I thought I was it. You see? And I'm thinking, could they all be that much smarter than me? Well, I've proved that most of you are smarter than me, but there were a bunch of you guys that were feeling just like me. And so here's the weird part, guys. Here's the part that gets me, is that I made the conscious decision to stay away from AA. I almost drank one night. It scared me real bad. I called Chris. Chris is now happy down there in the hill country, and so I said, Chris, I'm not going to make it. And he said, I've been telling you for years to go find another group. And I said, I know, but I know. I'm mentioning this, guys, because sometimes we follow a sick group right into the toilet and never ever think that maybe we need to do something to save ourselves or save them, or we need to do something, but we just go with the flow. We're heading for the crapper and not doing anything. Well, Chris said, look, in 2 or 3 days I'm going to be in Dallas. Don't do anything crazy. There's Mark and I are coming to Dallas, and we hear that there's this old dude, and we want you to meet him. I'm not even sure if he's real, but we're going to find out. And so Chris called me like 3 days later, and now I'm back bulletproof again. I'm okay. I'm back to my little scrape. I'm back kind of plugging down the road a little bit. And so Chris calls me and says, "You ain't gonna believe this, man. This guy is the bomb. You gotta meet him. He's real old and he's real crusty. And man, does he know that book?" And I went, "Well, Chris, listen, I'm real busy right now, and I've got a bunch of stuff going on, and there's like dead air on the other end of this line." I mean, it's like he's looking at me going, What? 48 hours ago you were going to kill yourself, and now you're telling me you're too busy to go just meet this guy? I told you I wasn't real smart. So I go see him, and guys, I'm telling you, I'm full of judgment. He may have what I need. I'm just not sure that I have the time for all of it. I've got a head full of ideas about what he's supposed to do and how he's supposed to treat me. I want to be loved and stuff. So I meet him at the door. I knock on the door. You guys have heard some of this before, and I want you to understand that I am so full of judgment that I can't even really see what's going on. Here's this guy, he looks at me, and I said, "My name is Myers Raymer," and I stick my hand out, and he looks at me, and he shakes my hand, and then he looks at me, and then I realized, he said, "Where's your big book?" And I said, I have no idea. And I'm being kind of playful with him. I really don't know. I haven't had my big book in years. I don't have a clue where it was. And he takes his book like this, and hits me in the stomach with it, just like that, and just like that. And it wasn't gentle. It was just hit me in the stomach with it, and he said, "Listen, here's my big book. Don't ever come back over here without a big book." And he turned around and he walked back in the house. And I'm going, "Dude, where is the love?" Or at least some respect. See? I'm a business owner. You don't treat a business owner that way. And I just, so I'm standing there on the porch, and I'm going, do I go in or do I go back to my truck? Do I go in or do I? And I'm looking out there, and I'm thinking, as old as he is, he couldn't even. I'd be down the road before he even knows I'm not in his living room. See? And but there was this thing saying, come on. And I remember thinking, it was the longest walk in the world. Some of you guys have been over to Clifton's house. From the front door to where his little den is, his little television room is, it can't be farther from here to Renee. But it was the longest walk I'd ever made in my whole life. Because I don't know what's down there, you see? And I walk around the corner, and I'm sitting there in this guy's living room, and he starts asking me questions. My butt's not even on the seat yet, and he's asking me questions about AA. And I don't know the answer to any of them. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not even going to tell you. I pretended to know the answers for him. I wanted him to know that I knew some things about AA. I got to tell you, his wife, Elaine, who passed away several years ago, but his wife would later become my Al-Anon sponsor. And Elaine told me that was the most uncomfortable encounter with anybody she'd ever seen. Because I was instantly on the defensive, and Clifford, you don't bully Clifford. I mean, you just don't bully him. And so I'm trying to, well, Clifford, there are many ways to, stop right there. And I'm going, well, so I realized I can't bully him that way, so I'm just going to, kind of play the quiet game. And finally he said, Myers, finally Elaine just got up and laughed. She said it was just too uncomfortable. And Clifford says, you don't know anything about this book, do you? And I wanted to argue with him. Now, guys, you have to understand, I'm a suicidal fruitcake. I'm nuttier than a squirrel turd, and you just have to understand how crazy I am. And I'm sitting there trying to justify all my stuff to this guy who's trying to help me. It's just embarrassing to even admit it. So I go, he said, you don't really know anything? And I said, well, no, I don't. He said, great, you got a place to start. Take this book, read it, and I'll see you tomorrow night at the meeting. And our meeting was over. When I walked out, there was no, I love you, there was no nothing. I mean, it was just like. So I show up the next night, I go to this meeting, and I'm blown away. These guys are studying the text. Nobody's sharing any opinions or ideas. No, there's no sharing. We're just talking about the text. If you want to share it, it better be about the text. And I don't know how that is, because I don't know it, so I just have to sit there and be quiet, which for a guy like me, who's full of his own arrogance and his own ego, I want to share. And so I keep going, okay, I got the answer to that, pick me. And then they look at me and they go, Maris, is it? I said, no, Myers. Okay, Myers. This is still going on. And I go, what? And so I would try to share some personal little pithy one-liners. And you guys got to see this. These guys in this room, I mean, these are big book guys, man, and gals, and they're looking at each other, and they're looking at Clifford, and Clifford's going like this, going like that. At this stage of the game, Clifford's not my sponsor yet, and I know he's just praying that I don't ask him, you see, because I'm a fruitcake. Well, but there was something about it. I remember leaving that night, and I was thinking, man, I learned some stuff tonight. There's some stuff I didn't know. I mean, this is all AA 101 stuff, guys. These are stuff that I should have learned the first time I ever sat down with a big book and a sponsor. I should have learned this stuff. And the following time I'd meet, we meet 3 times a week, and the next time I was there, I got to where I call Chris. We'd meet on a Tuesday night, and I'd call Chris Wednesday morning. I'd go, Chris, you're not going to believe it. Do you realize how long it took Bill Wilson to work this work? And he'd go, yeah, I know. And we talked about it. Now, he didn't break it off at me like I used to try to break it off at him. He was nice, and he'd just go, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, unbelievable. Now, there's still a part of me that judges them. I still don't like them. I still think they're a bunch of AA weirdos. But I cannot dispute the fact that the things that they're teaching me are the things that I always wanted to know, that I always wanted to be able to tell a protege. I've never sponsored anybody yet. I don't really have anything to offer, you see. But I'm thinking, if I ever sponsored somebody, this is the stuff that I'd want to teach them. You see? And so I'm getting kind of excited. And so I'm going to these meetings, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to not appear excited. And I'm so excited that I'm almost peeing on myself every time I'm at the meeting. It's really weird to explain it. I don't want them to. I'm just walking and going, yeah, I'll just, and I want them to sit real quiet, and then they say something else, and I connect another dot. I went, oh, God. Listen, one night I went home and I went, hey, Vonda, my wife, I said, Vonda, I'm an alcoholic. And she goes, no shit. I went, no, you don't understand. I'm really an alcoholic. I know why I drink the way I drink. And she says, good, see you later. And she goes to bed. And I'm like standing in the living room going, I don't know why she doesn't think it's a big deal. I'm 7 years, now 7.5 years into the deal, and I finally connected the dots. What's going on? I finally know why I drink the way I drink. I'm not a loser. Well, maybe I'm a little bit of a loser, but I'm not. It ain't a willpower thing. It's a sick thing. And when I began to connect this thing up, I was just so excited about this thing. And so then it was wheels off. And then I can't get enough. I'm reading, I'm studying, I'm talking to the old guys, I'm talking to the new guys, and I'm just like, it's just crazy. And it becomes this sort of miraculous period of my life. I called Chris one day and I said, Chris, I feel like a newcomer. And he said, and that's bad? And I went, well, in a way, I mean, you know this pink cloud thing? And he goes, yeah. And he said, I think I'm feeling that way. I mean, I think that's what I'm going through right now. And guys, it's like I'm telling him about some porn I looked at on the telephone. I mean, it's like, you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to admit to him the way I'm feeling, but the way I feel is the way I was supposed to feel. It's the way we were meant to feel. I mean, when you've been snatched back from the jaws of death and you know and see exactly what happened and you know and see the beginning of a future helping people, when you've been a taker all your life, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. Chris said the most profound thing to me that night. He said, why is it that you think that's fun, that you would have that pink cloud experience? And he said, couldn't you just begin to look at this as a gift from God and that you could maintain this the rest of your life? I never heard anything that indicated that this was something that we could keep. You understand what I'm saying? I thought we came in, we got kind of blustery with the whole thing, and then we deflated, and then we just went about our miserable lives. I thought that's kind of how it worked. I didn't realize that you could stay excited about the prospect of helping somebody else. I didn't have any clue. Guys, here's the problem that we run into. We have a situation where for every one of us that gets to this place, there's 1,000 that don't get to that place. 1,000 people sitting in meetings every day in AA land that will tell you exactly the opposite of what we know to be true. You see what I'm saying? Somebody said one time, Myers, you make it sound like nobody in your home group knew what they were doing in the original home group. I don't want to paint that picture, but the reality was is that we were closer to the truth there than I'd like to admit. We just didn't have a clue. Nobody was sponsoring. Nobody was doing 12-step work. Nobody was doing anything. It was just crazy. That years later, I want to read you a little piece here. Years later, Bill Wilson would understand at the introduction of the discussion meeting and the introduction of a lot of things that were going on in AA land, we began to replace a lot of AA with just discussion stuff, just talk stuff. Bill and then saw that, remember in those days, everything came back to Bill through a letter or a telephone call, but it all came back to Bill in the central office. And so Bill and them were distressed that the success rates were beginning to diminish, that there were things coming from the rumor mill out there in AA land that weren't very cool, that were kind of distressing. And so he wrote this letter that later ended up in the Grapevine and then would later end up in some letters that were written back and forth. And pretty remarkable deal. This was written in 1966. I'm just going to read part of it so that you can... there it is. An AA group as such cannot take on the personal problems of its members, let alone those of non-alcoholics in the world around it. The AA group is not, for example, a mediator of domestic relations, nor does it furnish personal financial aid to anyone. Now guys, as an early sponsor for most of us, weren't we doing just that? I mean, weren't we involved in a lot of that kind of stuff? And Bill's saying, we're not supposed to be doing that stuff. We have other things that we need to be doing. And then he's going to introduce them. So a member may sometimes be helped by such matters by his friends in AA. The primary responsibility for solutions of all of his problems of living and growing rests squarely on the individual himself. Should an AA group attempt this sort of help, its effectiveness and energies would be hopelessly dissipated. It's pretty smart. He sees what's coming. We're spinning our wheels trying to help you with your relationship with your girlfriend, and we're ignoring the fact that you're dying of alcoholism. You understand the problem? This is what he sees, and this is what he's trying to tell us. And the last little piece of this that connects it up. This is why sobriety, freedom from alcohol, through the teaching and practice of AA's 12 steps, is the sole purpose of an AA group. If we don't stick to this cardinal principle, we shall almost certainly collapse. And if we collapse, we cannot help anyone. Straight from the guy's mouth. Freedom, sobriety, freedom from alcohol through the teaching and practice of AA's 12 steps is the sole purpose of the group. There's a reason that he wrote it, guys. And I'm not saying that we have to stop all discussion. I'm not even implying that. I'm just saying, at the moment that we begin to share something in a meeting that is out there in ozone land about something, listen, my problem is I began to see this thing. I'm about to have a coronary up here thinking about this stuff. My problem with this thing is that they gave us the greatest way in the world to handle the domestic problems and problems with our relationships and problems with our boss and all this other kind of stuff. It was called a sponsor. It was called a sponsor. I don't understand why worldwide we don't use our sponsors for this kind of stuff and save that one pathetic little hour that we have for a meeting to talk about God, to talk about the steps, to talk about a spiritual connection that's so powerful that it would change you forever. You understand what I'm saying, guys? Well, I just like to see so much more time spent in that arena. That's what Bill was trying to get us to see, and less time in the trying to solve the daily problems. All God's kids got problems. I'm not making light of any of them. They all need to be solved. I just think a healthier way to do it is to go to a man or a woman that knows you so well, and they can help you see the things that you're doing or not doing that might solve the problem, rather than having a room full of crazoids that may or may not know what they're talking about. It's personal opinion. You don't have to agree with it for sure. The AA, let me tell you this story real quick. I'm going to put this in perspective. Because I think sometimes people think that I'm playing with them or that I'm kidding them when I'm telling them about how crazy things get. I want to paint you a picture of one night in a meeting that I had in Texas, And I want you to hear it, and then we'll get on to some more important stuff. But I want you to understand this deal. Somebody asked me to do a talk, and I'm not going to tell you where, because they'll kill me if they hear this. So this is out there someplace, okay? It was a drive from Dallas, and I got there early, like 40 minutes early, and I walk in, and there's nobody there. As I walk in, another guy walks in, and he walks past me, walks out, and as I just kind of waved at him like this, and he waved at me. Now, I'm dressed just like this, only I have a suit on, not jeans, but a suit on. And this is a rural area on a lake. I think I can say that. And everybody's in cutoffs. Everybody's in shorts and t-shirts and this kind of stuff. It's a recreational area. And I'm dressed just like this. I mean, I'm sticking out like a sore thumb. And he walks in, he walks out the back door and just leaves me sitting in there all by myself. And so I'm sitting there for a little while and I'm thinking, what do I do? And pretty soon another guy walks in. He kind of waves like this, sits down, but he didn't say anything to me. And I'm just kind of sitting there, and a little bit later, another guy comes in, and then another guy comes in. We're getting pretty close to 8 o'clock, and these guys are all just kind of sitting there real quiet, looking straight ahead. They might say something across the table to each other, but they're not addressing me like I'm even in the room. I mean, it's like they're ignoring me. And I'm just thinking, now, what am I going to do? I mean, I'm being treated like crap here, and so pretty soon there's some other people walk in, and this gal walks in, and she's got this big doll, big plastic doll underneath her arm. And she walks up into the front of the room, and there's a table sitting right over here, and she sits down with this big doll, and she starts playing with this doll at the table. Well, I mean, I don't think much about it, except that it's real distracting. The room is that quiet. And all you can hear are these plastic feet walking on the top of this table like this. And about the time I'm thinking, this is pretty weird, you don't see that every day. Another lady walks in, a larger version of this other girl. I think it's mother-daughter, but I'm not sure. And she has a big doll. Now, I'm telling you, the room is quiet, and these two women are in there with these big plastic dolls, big dolls like this, and they're walking these dolls on this table, and now they're starting to do this doll talk thing back and forth. And so it's going like, whoa, 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 like this, back and forth, and they're just making these dolls talk to each other and walking them on the table like this. And guys, I'm just like going, what the? I know some of you are already angry. You think I'm judging them. I am. But listen, this is the stuff that we're talking about. This is the stuff that we've been talking about all weekend. The process of getting people sober should look reasonable. It should look sort of the same, right? So that wherever you go, no matter wherever the circle of triangle is on the door, when you walk in, you have friendly folks ready to help, ready to be of service if they can. Now, I'm sitting in a meeting with a fruitcakes for 40 minutes, and nobody's addressed me yet. And we're in there playing dolls and all this stuff, and I'm thinking, holy cow. I want to make one little side note on this thing, guys. We can discount all of this as loving and tolerant. We can discount all this as it's not my business to judge anything until it gets personal, okay? Until it's your daughter that's in the meeting, your grandkid that sobers up and walks into that meeting. You understand what I'm saying, guys? Your wife who's been struggling to get sober for all these years, and that's the meeting she walked into. Don't you think we have a responsibility to say something?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could be nice. I don't have to be obnoxious all the time. I could gently say, is there a sober member of Alcoholics Anonymous here that can talk some drunk stuff to me? I mean, it's just like, golly. 8 o'clock rolls around. They hadn't started the meeting. 8:10, 8:15, they still hadn't started the meeting. I'm just getting, I'm up to here with it by now. And so I figured, I guess I'm going to leave. Finally, this guy stands up in the middle of the room and says, well, we're past meeting time. We were supposed to have a speaker here tonight. And I was looking at him. I fixed my tie, and I said, I bet that's me. And he sat down. He didn't say, here, thank you for driving 3.5 hours to come talk to us. He just sat down. But that was the night that Spankathon got invented. It was just bloody. I just got had a claw full of it. I'm thinking, this is... Have you been invited back? My problem is this, guys. My problem is this, is that the longer you're here, the more people you bury, right? We see the ugliness of our disease every day. And it's traumatic to see so many people struggling to get this deal. And then when we see people that totally misuse their responsibility, it drives me insane. And that's the reason why worldwide, as we see more and more people come to study the text, as we see more and more people form big book studies and get healthier and healthier and healthier, the contrast has gotten remarkable. And I understand why some of the middle of the road guys don't like the big book guys. I understand it because the contrast is remarkable between a group of people that are willing to get out their rear ends and get out there on the firing line and help people every day doing what we do, and people here who have a completely different skewed idea of what AA is. AA to those people is doll time. It was just time to play. I don't know. There's plenty of time to play. I don't know why they had to do it in that one little pitiful hour of recovery that we had to do the deal. I'll be nice. I promise. I won't say any other thing. So here's how this thing works. So I'm going to these meetings at Primary Purpose Group, and the group is growing and growing and growing. It's getting big, and then it's getting crazy big. There's 260 people there last Tuesday night. I mean, 260 people studying the text. It's a big meeting, okay? Now, I'm playing these games still. I still don't want to do anything that looks like AA, and I'm at the meeting. I'm pretty sharp. I'm getting book smart, but I'm not willing to go do what you do. And so we're sitting there one night, and I realized that something's still different. And I talked to Cliff about it before. And after the meeting, I said, Cliff, I'm still different than you guys are, aren't you? I've been there 2 years. 2 years studying, and I am a lot better. Things are a lot better at home, but I don't want to do this 12-step stuff that Chris was talking about. And so Clifford is just the most frustrated I've ever seen him in my whole life. He wears glasses, and he's standing in this little back room, and he puts his glasses off, and he goes, and he looks at the ceiling, and then he put the glasses back on, and he said, Ryan, I'm going to tell you one more time what's going on. Like he told me before. I don't remember him ever telling me. But apparently he has. And he said, I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to go do some 12-step work, or I want you to go away. And I'm thinking, okay, this is Tuesday night, he just means he wants me to go away until Thursday night. And then it occurs to me, he's telling me to go away, he's like gone. And I went, oh man, dude, where's the love? I mean, you're my sponsor, buddy. You can't be. He was dusting me. And I just, because he knew he'd done everything he could do to get me to do what I was supposed to do. And so, I leave there. He said, I want you to go to Salvation Army tomorrow night. I go to Salvation Army, and I'm not going to tell you this whole story. What I want to tell you is that the experience at the Salvation Army transformed my whole existence. What began to happen was a realization that even a nut job like me could carry a message if I understood a bit of text and I understood something called compassion, that I could just simply empathize with people in that room, and I could be there on a level that was powerful. It made huge differences in people's lives, and I didn't realize. I mean, I walked in complaining and disputing everything and fighting tooth and nail. I don't want to do this stinking 12-step work. And I left that meeting that night, the first night at Salvation Army. I left completely transformed, because all my objections were just in here. My objections were just thought up. I'm telling myself I'm too busy to do this work. I'm too stupid. I'm too slow. I had a big old list of reasons why I couldn't do it. See, I want to be involved with you, but not on that level. I want to be involved. I don't really want to talk to drunks. I just want to go and play like I'm talking to drunks. I just want to fellowship with drunks. I don't really want to be in the trenches where there might be some responsibility to actually try to save somebody's life. I don't want to do that. Buddy, I can't tell you what a difference happened. My world shifted the moment I just simply said, I'll do it. I'll go. And the reason I'm mentioning this, guys, is because there's some of you in here that have come up with great excuses why you can't do 12-step work either. You're too busy, you're too remotely located, you're too busy. There's a million reasons why we can't do it. I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm too that, I can't. Stop. None of us dodges that bullet. None of us are there's no good 12-steppers and bad 12-steppers. We're all 12-steppers. We were all given the same responsibility to get out there and help somebody. I want to give you an example of this stuff before we close. Some of you guys have heard the story about Terry, but the other day I hadn't told the story in a long time, but I want to tell it because Terry was a perfect example of a holdout. Of a knucklehead holdout that didn't want to do the deal, that decided to do the deal, and watch what happens in his life. Okay, so I'm at this place called Homer Bound in Oak Cliff, down in the hood, and the room is not quite this big. There's a bunch of people in there, and they bring these guys. These are indigents. These are guys who have no money, no prospect of money. They don't even know what money looks like. I'm telling you, these guys are just like right in off the street guys, and they I'm real comfortable talking to them by now. I'm getting better. I'm getting more excited about 12-step work, so I'm there twice a week, Wednesday night and Friday night. Well, so Friday night, we're walking in, and this guy walks in over here, and I look at him, and I went, holy crap. And I look this way, and I won't even look over this. Terry is the ugliest guy I've ever seen in my whole life. I'm telling you. And he's got this guy with him, and the guy's leading him. His face is all bandaged up. And Jerry was one of these guys who was living on the street down in the hood, and he was sleeping in the back of a pickup truck on blocks between two buildings. And a gang of guys had come down an alleyway and seen Terry sleeping in the back of his pickup truck. He's in the middle of summer, the elements have got him, he's burnt to a crisp in the sun, the bugs have eaten him alive, and they were laughing, and they grabbed him by the ankles and pulled him out of that pickup truck. Terry's laying face down in the pickup truck, and the first thing that hits the ground is his face. And guys, I'm telling you, it totally rearranged. He's ugly as a mud fence anyway, and it just rearranged everything. His nose was broke, his jaw was broke, and his teeth were pushed up through his lips like this, and he's all swollen up and wired up, and he was a mess. And I'm doing my entire pitch that night like this. I'm not even looking over there, because listen, guys, I already know what God's got planned. I already know how this is going to happen. And I'm thinking, I can fix God. I'll just ignore the guy, and he'll go away, and then I'll go home, and it'll be over again. And so afterwards, I'm trying to light cigarettes over here for people that I'm not even smoking. I've got a lighter, I've got to get busy doing something. I'm doing anything I can. The room empties out, and I went, cool. And I turn around, and Terry with his buddy was standing right there. And Terry said something, and I said, Terry, I don't understand what you're saying. And he goes, this guy says, he says that he wants you to be his sponsor. And I went, of course he does. This makes perfect sense to me, God. I'm just like, why? Why? Don't I have enough to do already? So I scoop Terry up, and we start our journey. And it's really painful, guys. When I tell you he's ugly, when I tell you that, I'm telling you, I just can't even hardly look at him. He's in so much pain, they've got him all jammed up. They kept those guys for 90 days in that deal, and I got him to work, I guess probably 20 days, counting travel time back and forth to get him through the stuff. And buddy, I'm telling you, he's getting this stuff. He's flat getting it. We do his fifth step. It's been raining in Dallas. I've got to set this up for you. You've got to hear this. It had been raining in Dallas for 3 days. We don't get rain like that in Texas anymore. It's gone. We don't ever get rain like that. But then it had rained for 3 days, and it was cloudy and overcast the whole 3 days. They hadn't seen the sun. And I'm in this park doing this fifth step with this guy. I had to do it in the park because he was so ugly still that he would freak everybody out. We walked into a restaurant, they called the law. And so we're sitting down. He's looking west, and I'm facing him east, and it's right at time the sun's going down. And as we were going through the inventory, and he's trying to show him the selfishness, the self-centered part like this, and he goes, "Oh my gosh!" And he puts his head down and he just starts crying. I said, "Terry, what is it?" And he says, well, we made some mistakes here. And I said, what do you mean? He said, we skipped some stuff. I said, what are you talking about? Well, look, let me show you. And he goes back over the first part of his inventory. He says, see the selfish part here? I didn't see it before. See the selfish part in this relationship? I didn't see it before. And I'm telling you, he busts that inventory apart. And I'm just sitting there watching him like this, and he's reciting this stuff, the dishonesty. Look at how inconsiderate I was. And he's just jamming it up, and his mouth all wired up, and he just looks freaky. And but he's getting it. You see what I'm saying, guys? This guy is getting it. And I went, holy cow. And about that time, the sun breaks through right at the horizon. It's almost going down, and it breaks through right underneath the clouds. And there's this big blast of light that goes like this across that park right into Terry's eye. He's got red hair that's sticking straight up in the air, green eyes like nothing you've ever seen in your whole life. And I'm telling you guys, the hair on the back of my neck is standing up, and I'm just like freaked out because he looks. I know there's some Freudian stuff here going on, guys, but I'm telling you, he looks like an angel sitting in front of me. I've never seen a more beautiful man in my life than Terry looked like when that sun hit him in the face like that. He's piercing green eyes and that red hair, and the sun's making it look like it's on fire. And he's just sort of otherworldly looking at me. And he grins with that busted up mouth of his, and I didn't see it. I just went, holy shit, Terry. And I just sat back, and it was the most, it took me 20 minutes for my heart to stop beating so fast. I mean, just like, dang, my hair was standing up on the back of my neck, and I'm just kind of like, my God. Terry, it's a 2-hour bus drive from where we did at Vista, where his place is, a 2-hour bus drive to where we have meetings. My deal with Terry was, if you will get to the meeting, I'll get you home. I'll take you home. I live another hour the other direction. And I said, but I'll take you home. And so for about 5 months, this is what we did. And I'm telling you guys, I'm seriously, I fell in love with this kid. Fell in love with him. Because he was, if you said, Terry, eat a handful of spiders, he'd go, okay, you pick the big ones and I'll eat them. I mean, he could just, you understand what I'm saying? I mean, there's no argument, there's no, oh, come on, you don't have everybody eat spiders, do you? I mean, he wasn't arguing with anything, he was just doing what we do. And he was studying, and he got there early, he was sitting with some guys, and he was studying. He comes in one day, and he hands me, he said, can I borrow $5? And I said, Terry, all I got is 10, but listen, I don't loan money to drunks, you know that. And he says, I'll take the 10. And he takes it and he leaves. Well, Thursday he shows up and he's there early. When I get there to set up the meeting, he's there. And I walk in and he hands me this little business card and it says T&L. There's 4 initials on it, he and his buddy, and started a little window washing company. And what they were doing was they took that $10 and they bought a squeegee and a plastic bucket. And what they were doing was they were going over into Highland Park, the rich area of town where our meetings are. They were going over there, washing windows for the rich folk all day long, and then they would show up at the meeting, and then I'd take them home. And this is just how we roll. I mean, for a long time, this is how it was. Well, Terry comes in, I'm thinking this is the coolest thing in the world. Guys, I got to tell you, I sponsor men today that live 100 yards down the road from where our meetings are, and I can't get them to come to a meeting. You understand what I'm saying? Terry's doing everything he can, everything, because he knows that his life depends on doing this stuff. By now, they've taken the wires out of his mouth, and they've got his jaw unwired, and he's still ugly as crap. But he's doing okay. So he walked up one night, and he says, Myron, I got this back, and I wanted to tell you what's going on. And he handed it to me, his driver's license, a commercial driver's license. It's a special deal. I think they've got them here, too, for over long-haul truck drivers. And he finally got his license back. He was a long-haul truck driver by trade before all this crap happened, before the booze kicked his rear end. And so he gets his license back, and I'm going, oh, there was a part of me, guys, that wanted to take the license up and tear it up. But I mean, I know what's coming. Terry's going to go on the road, he's going to get in his truck, and he's going to get drunk, and I'm never going to see him again, and we're going to be the one that loses it. And that's not the way it rolls. I said, Terry, are you sure this is what you want to do? He said, I'm sure this is what I want to do. All right. He said, listen, man, you go, do what you need to do, but you stay in touch with me. I mean, really, I want you calling me all the time. He said, okay, I will. So he leaves, and I don't hear anything from him for almost a month. And I'm thinking the worst. 10 o'clock on Friday night, Terry calls me. Now, there's no call at 10 o'clock on a Friday night that's a good call. I'm just telling you. Not an AA. It's always something good. Okay? Somebody's in a strip joint, or somebody's somewhere where they're not supposed to be, but it's always bad. And he said, me, I'm okay. I just need to ask you a couple of quick questions. I said, shoot, what is it? And he said, well, we missed our drop-off tonight. And then there's this pause, and I went, so what's that? What does that mean? And he says, well, it means that we can't drop our load off until Monday. So I'm stuck here all weekend. And I went, so? And he goes, well, you don't understand, there's no AA meeting here. And I went, well, that may be a problem. And he goes, well, so let me ask you this question. I was talking to this waitress tonight, and she said that they used to have an AA meeting here, but it sort of lost its traction, and everybody quit. But there's some guys that come over here all the time from farmers, and they'll come over here. He's in Tennessee, I think. And they kind of shared some interest in maybe starting something. And I went, no kidding. Terry, I still don't understand the question. And he said, okay, well, do you think I could start an AA meeting here? And I went, I guess. And he goes, okay, and he hangs up. I'm like, no, hang up. Don't hang up. And so he does it. Well, like a month and a half later, Terry calls again. And I'm thinking, Terry, where are you? He goes, well, I'm in Maine. And I said, oh man, what, Maine? And he goes, yeah. He said, I've got this route that takes me through Tennessee and up the East Coast, and I'm up in Maine. And he said, you know what, Mike? They don't have a big book study here either. No kidding, Jerry. And he goes, yeah. He said, it'd be okay if I started one here too, don't you think? And I went, I guess so. And he said, okay, I got to get some books together. And he hung up again. Now, listen. I got to make sure that you understand this guy. This guy's been sober less than 9 months. And he's on this road, and his deal is this. He's going to drive up the East Coast, visit these places where he started his book study, share through the stuff that he does, conduct the book study, and then you'll make the big loop, and then you'll come back up through there again, taking what they need, literature, taking what they need in terms of other stuff. I mean, it's the craziest thing in the world. You see? And I tell you this story, guys. Sometimes some of it's funny, but the important thing is to understand that this is what we signed up for. This is what we signed up for. When God brings things into our life to do, people to help, our job was to be helpful. Our job was to quit making excuses why we can't do certain things and simply do what God put us in front of us. This is across the board, guys, if you'll do this stuff, you'll see such amazing transformations. Your life will be refashioned in a way that you never dreamed possible. 23 years ago, guys, I stopped drinking because I got tired of getting hit in the face in bars. I got tired of my wife thinking I'm a loser. I got tired of a lot of things. But I never dreamed it would have to do with anything else other than just not drinking. I didn't count on a spiritual awakening that would take me to a place that I'd never been before. I didn't count on being able to travel and do this. I didn't count on any of these things happening. I didn't count on a relationship with God that I didn't have. I didn't count on friends. I didn't count on acquaintances like you that would be in my life forever and ever and ever. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we're truly blessed to be here. And for the most part, guys, the only thing that separates us from the things that are so amazing out there is our own ego and our own arrogance, the things that take us out of the picture. You see? Sometimes I think that we gravitate towards, let me rephrase it. Sometimes I think that we should eagerly move away from things that are familiar, things that are comfortable, and embrace the things that are true. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things out there that don't make sense. I can't sometimes intellectually connect the dots between what we're doing here and what happens over here. I simply just know that it works. And sometimes we get so engaged in what's comfortable that we won't leave it. We won't let it go. But guys, I got to tell you, between me and you, sometimes the only way to get where we need to be is to simply walk away from those things that are comfortable. Sometimes we just have to say, okay, I'm willing. I'm simply willing on faith to trust and believe that a busted up, drunk or dopey could truly affect change in somebody's life. for a collection of takers like we are. This is the most amazing piece of information that we could share. That we could come from where we were as just card-carrying takers to a place where we could actually change and affect life, and in some cases, save lives. This is heavy stuff. I want to thank you guys. I concur with the evil twin that I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored to know you, and I am so honored that you guys chose to stay when in a lot of cases it would have been easier just to say screw it, just to leave. Because I've got a daughter that's here now, you women that say thank you for being here. It's always so comforting to talk to Amazon women in AA that are willing to take a gal, jerk her up short, set her down, and help her see the truth about recovery. Cool. How absolutely cool is this deal? If your meetings are primarily discussion stuff, we all shoulder some responsibility to very gently move us away from that format if we can. Not completely, it'll never happen. We enjoy them too much. I get that. I'm not even here trying to suggest that. But if your meeting formats are nothing but discussion, how come it would not be difficult at all the next time you have a group inventory, the next time you have a group conscience meeting, simply say, boys and girls, members of this club, sober members of Alcoholics Anonymous, wouldn't it be cool if we had a book study here so we could learn what we need to learn to carry a message that might save some lives? And you might take some heat. Come on. I've been taking heat for years. You can do it. It's not a big thing like this. You'll get into groups like this, and you'll be bonded to men and women who have taken equal heat. And this is kind of this special stuff. It's like having a secret handshake. You walk into a room and you look across the room and there's this little book thumper that you know in there like this, and you walk through the door and you go. All that's necessary. That's all that's necessary. And you automatically, you guys know. You know the stuff you're made of. You know the path you're on. You know the changes that are ahead of you if you'll simply stay the course. It takes a little courage. It takes a little backbone. It takes a little pushback to a fellowship that simply wants to sit on a fence and do nothing. I love them all, but I'm telling you right now, if AA is going to be saved, it's going to be by men and women just like you that has some courage to go do that. I love you guys. Thanks again for letting me come, okay?